Johnny Depp's last words about Amber Heard have just leaked, and they're not what anyone expected. Not a headline, not a rumor, but a private confession from a man who finally realized he should have listened. This wasn't the Johnny fans saw on red carpets or in courtrooms. This was Johnny behind closed doors, stripped of pride and surrounded by the ghosts of every warning he ignored. Someone in that room, someone close enough to hear the crack in his voice, said it was the first time Johnny ever admitted the truth. He said, "I should have listened to everyone," and those 7 words would change everything. To understand the weight of Johnny's confession, you need to know how far back those warnings go. It started in 2012, on the set of The Rum Diary. That's where Johnny met Amber Heard, and from that very first meeting, people close to him felt something was wrong. Vanessa Paradis, Johnny's partner of 14 years and mother of his children, told friends she had a bad feeling. Not jealousy, not bitterness, just intuition. Then came his sister, Christy Dembrowski, the one who managed his finances, who's seen every side of Johnny. She warned him more than once. Amber's not in love with you. She's studying you. His friends whispered the same thing. His lawyers quietly advised caution. Even his bodyguards, the men who protected his life, saw red flags. But Johnny didn't care. He was in love, and love made him deaf. Amber wasn't just dating Johnny, she was mirroring him. Suddenly she loved vintage guitars, old literature, and black and white films, all the things that defined him. Vanessa had seen it happen before her eyes, and warned Johnny that something felt too perfect. Then came the money questions. Emails later revealed that Christy had told Johnny's business manager that Amber was asking about his property, his will, his assets. And while everyone saw it as manipulation, Johnny called it interest. His makeup artist saw the tension too. Amber showing up uninvited, watching him, questioning every woman near him. And his security team? They wrote reports of shouting, unexpected visits, and emotional ambushes. Everyone saw the signs, everyone but Johnny. The real turning point came in December 2015. Johnny was recovering from his finger injury, isolated, exhausted, and trying to heal. Amber was supposed to be in London, supporting him. But then Johnny found the messages, texts Amber left behind, messages between her and her sister Whitney and her friend Rocky Pennington. And they weren't about love. They were about control. Amber had written about pushing the right buttons, about the plan going perfectly. And that's when Johnny froze, because the words Amber used were the same words his sister Christy had used in her warnings years earlier. It hit him like a nightmare come true. Amber wasn't reacting. She was rehearsing. A source who witnessed Johnny's breakdown said he looked haunted, like a man watching his life replay in reverse. He said, "I read those texts and heard Christy's voice in my head saying the same words. It was like watching a movie where you already know the ending." Then came the line that would haunt him forever. "I should have listened to everyone. They saw what I couldn't see because I didn't want to see it." In that moment, Johnny finally realized he hadn't just been manipulated. He had helped his own downfall. His pride made him blind, and his love made him stubborn. Everything his family warned about later showed up in evidence. Christie's financial fears, confirmed by divorce filings showing Amber accessed Johnny's cards, his properties, his business accounts, security reports of control and confrontation, verified in sworn testimony, Vanessa's warnings about imitation, backed up by Amber's own research into Johnny's interests before they even started dating. Every red flag became evidence, every warning became truth, and every "you're just being jealous" turned into "you were right all along." Johnny's confession wasn't just about a failed marriage, it was about loss. The kind that ripples through everything you love. His daughter, Lily Rose, had told him. From the start, she didn't trust Amber. When he ignored her, she pulled away. His bond with Vanessa fractured too, not out of anger, but disappointment. And professionally, it was catastrophic. The industry turned its back, his image shattered, and the people who had protected him for decades could only watch as everything they'd warned him about came true. Johnny didn't just lose his career or his fortune. He lost his faith in himself, in his instincts, and in love. At the end of that leaked confession, Johnny said something few have ever heard. "I didn't just lose a marriage. I lost faith in everyone who loved me because I chose someone who didn't love me at all. It wasn't bitterness. It was clarity. The kind that comes only when everything else is gone." This morning, hip-hop fans are waking up to some unexpected drama. Cameron has officially filed a lawsuit against J. Cole over their collaboration. Ready 24. Yeah, you heard that right. Cam says J. Cole broke a promise that was supposed to be sealed in music and mutual respect. According to reports from TMZ and other sources, Cam claims he wrote the lyrics and dropped a verse on Ready 24 in exchange for J. Cole agreeing to either appear on his podcast It Is What It Is or collaborate again in the future. But 2 years later, that promise still hasn't been kept. Cam says the song was recorded back in 2022, and between July 2023 and April 2024, he kept reaching out to Cole. Politely, professionally, but all he got was the same message. I'm unavailable. After months of no follow-through, Cam decided enough was enough. Now he's taking things to court, claiming he hasn't been properly compensated for his contribution and demanding to be legally recognized as co-author of the record. He's also asking for a full accounting of the song's earnings, which he estimates could be worth around $500,000. This whole situation feels strange. Because while it's normal for artists to disagree, it's rare to see a lawsuit like this play out in hip-hop, especially between two respected names like Cameron and J. Cole. Think about it. Cam going full Harlem aggression on Cole would look weird in today's space. Cole is known for his calm, introspective image, not beef. So this isn't street-level drama, it's business. Some fans say Cam might be doing too much, that lawsuits don't belong in hip-hop. But others say he's 100% right. If an agreement was made and Cole didn't honor it, then Cam has every right to protect his work. Because let's be honest, this kind of thing happens all the time in the music industry. Artists make promises, verses get delayed, appearances get canceled. But rarely do we see someone actually call it out legally. And this isn't just about money. It's about respect, commitment, and business ethics. If it were any other industry, this would just be called holding up your end of the deal. Fans are also wondering what this could have been. A J. Cole appearance on Cam's It Is What It Is podcast would have been huge. Or imagine another song together, Harlem meets Dreamville. That's a cultural moment. Instead, we got silence. Cole reportedly never showed up, never did the verse, and now the courts might have to decide what happens next. And while all this unfolds, the culture still finds beauty in its roots. The same morning this lawsuit hit headlines, talk turned to something nostalgic. The new Big L album, dropping Friday. Yes, Big L, with features from Method Man, Mac Miller, and even a restored Jay-Z freestyle in crystal clear quality. Hip-hop stays complicated, lawsuits one moment, legacies the next. At the end of the day, Cameron isn't throwing hands. He's using paperwork. And that alone says a lot about how the game has evolved. But the question remains, did J. Cole truly break his word? Or is this a miscommunication that spiraled too far? One thing's for sure, this story's just getting started. Before we dive in, imagine waking up one morning to see Drake, yes, Drizzy himself, trending not for music, not for a new verse, but for a lawsuit. And right beside his name, Adin Ross. Two of the internet's biggest stars, now caught in a storm, over a gambling empire that's shaking the industry from the inside out. They called it entertainment. But one man says it was all an illusion, a game rigged before it even began. This isn't just another celebrity headline. This is a story about money, manipulation, and the price of influence in the digital age. Because when Drake and Adin rolled the dice, they didn't just gamble their money, they gambled their reputation. When news broke that Drake and Adin Ross were being dragged into a massive class action lawsuit, the internet did what it always does. It exploded. Comments, reactions, debates, all lighting up faster than a Vegas slot machine. Because this wasn't just about gambling. It was about influence, money, and manipulation. Three things that always get messy when fame is involved. Drake, the Bow-Bond, the global superstar. Adin Ross, one of streaming's most unpredictable personalities. And Stake, a flashy online betting platform that's made more headlines than some sports teams. But this time, the headline isn't about winning. It's about a lawsuit that could change everything. The legal firestorm began with one man, Justin Kilham, a frustrated gambler who says he lost big on the Stake platform. But instead of blaming luck, he's blaming the system. According to him, Stake isn't playing fair. He claims that when mega celebrities like Drake and streamers like Adin Ross show off their gambling wins online. It's all part of a carefully crafted illusion. He alleges they're not even gambling with their own money, but with house money provided by Stake itself. And if that's true, then the entire spectacle, the flashy wins, the fake losses, the emotional reactions, could all be marketing theater, designed not to entertain, but to pull you in. The claim goes deep. Killam says that when Drake and Adin stream themselves betting hundreds of thousands, those numbers aren't real. It's not personal risk, it's sponsored spectacle. Every loss, just for show. Every, oh no, I lost again, pure performance. The lawsuit calls it unfair marketing, targeting young audiences, especially teenagers, and painting gambling as easy money or harmless fun. Stake, of course, is denying it all. But the documents say otherwise, accusing the platform of disguising itself as a social casino to dodge US gambling laws. And that phrase, social casino, might just become the center of this entire legal war. Here's where things get messy. Because Drake isn't just a rapper, he's a global brand. Everything he touches becomes gold, from Nike deals to OVO drops. So when he shows up on stream, smiling, betting, winning, fans believe him. They trust the fantasy. And Adin Ross, he's the wild card, a streamer with millions of young followers who watch him religiously. So when both of them promote gambling, even indirectly, it's not just marketing, it's persuasion at scale. That's what the lawsuit is really about. Not whether they placed real bets, but whether their influence misled millions into losing real money chasing fake dreams. Let's be honest, gambling has always walked a thin line between thrill and tragedy. You win, you celebrate, you lose, you rationalize. But when billion-dollar influencers get involved, that line disappears. Because it's not just their money anymore, it's your trust. Drake's collaboration with Stake was meant to be entertainment, live streaming, the excitement, the tension, the luck. But if this lawsuit holds, it might expose a multi-million-dollar illusion, one built on the losses of everyday people. And Adin Ross, he's been here before, facing criticism for promoting risky platforms to a young audience. But this time, it's not just Twitter drama, it's courtroom drama. If the class action gains traction, it could open the door for hundreds of other victims to join in, each one claiming they were misled by the glitz, the streams, the fake bets. The damages? Potentially millions. The reputations at stake? Priceless. It's a gamble of a different kind. One where Drake and Adin aren't rolling dice, they're rolling their careers. Because if this lawsuit wins, it could redefine what influencer marketing means in the online gambling world. So here we are, watching fame, fortune, and responsibility collide in real time. A rapper, a streamer, a platform, and one man who says he's tired of losing. Maybe it's greed, maybe it's manipulation, or maybe it's just the price of playing in a world where everything's for show. Either way, this story isn't about gambling anymore. It's about trust. And once that's lost, no one wins. So, what do you think? Is this lawsuit fair? Or just another fan blaming celebrities? Social media is on fire again. And at the center of the storm is none other than Cardi B, the Bronx rapper, who's never shy to speak her mind, is once again trending for all the wrong reasons. This time, it's not just about her fiery tweets or public rants. It's about a rumor that's spiraling out of control. Cardi B is allegedly pregnant by a man who's already expecting twins with another woman. Yes, you heard that right. 2 women, same man, same due dates. It sounds unreal, but the streets are talking, and the internet is eating it up. It all started when Cardi took to social media to call people out, particularly those who voted for Trump. In her words, "Y'all poor people voted for this man, and look how he's doing y'all." She was dragging, she was loud, and she was confident. But before the echo of her voice faded, the internet clapped back, hard. Fans pointed out the irony. Cardi B calling others stupid, while she's allegedly caught in a messy love triangle that could rival a reality show. People began to say, how can she talk about anyone's choices when hers are making headlines for all the wrong reasons? According to multiple gossip sources, Cardi B is very pregnant, and so is another woman, reportedly by the same man. Word on the street? The other woman is carrying twins. And get this, the 2 are expected to give birth around the same time. Fans are calling it the wildest plot twist of the year. Memes started flying. Tweets were ruthless. Some said, imagine being in the hospital with your man, going room to room. One baby here, two babies there. It's chaotic, it's messy, and it's very, very Cardi B drama. The man in question, according to the online chatter, isn't just busy with multiple women. He's allegedly facing even more controversy. Rumors suggest he's been mingling and tingling in ways that have left fans completely stunned. Some claim he's been caught up in messy situations with both women and men, while others insist Cardi knows exactly what she's getting into. Either way, it paints a picture of chaos, one that Cardi B is standing right in the center of, proudly calling others dumb, while her own house looks ready to collapse. Let's talk money. Cardi B once bragged about her wealth, but whispers online claim the financial tables might be turning. Rumor has it that in her ongoing split with Offset, he's walking away with more than she is. Endorsement deals reportedly drying up, legal battles piling, and drama overshadowing music. It's a lot. People online joked, Cardi called out the poor, but she might end up next to them if this keeps up. Brutal? Maybe, but this is the internet, and it never shows mercy. The backlash was immediate. Fans flooded Twitter and TikTok with clips of Cardi's rants, calling her out for hypocrisy. What was supposed to be a fiery political moment for Cardi turned into a viral roast session that even her most loyal fans struggled to defend. Beyond the gossip, people started pointing to something deeper. The fall of the relatable Cardi. She used to be the underdog, the girl from the Bronx who made it big. But now, many say she's lost touch, talking down on fans who once lifted her up. And while she's still performing on stage, still collecting checks, her public image feels more fragile than ever. Every rant, every rumor, every headline is chipping away at the brand she built on authenticity. As the rumors grow louder, Cardi B hasn't backed down. Not from the drama, not from the clapbacks, but people are asking, at what cost? With another alleged pregnancy, public feuds, and a fan base losing patience, the once unshakable superstar might be facing her toughest era yet. The same fans she called stupid are now watching from the sidelines, saying, "We warned you." And the moral of the story? You can have fame, money, and millions of followers. But when your personal life turns into a circus, no one's laughing with you anymore. They're laughing at you. Y'all, it's official. Diddy has left New York City. After months of speculation, drama, and courtroom chaos, the bad boy himself has crossed that bridge and landed in New Jersey. Not for business, not for a show, but to begin his prison sentence. Early this morning, reports confirmed that Sean Diddy Combs was quietly transferred to Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution, where he'll be spending the next 2.5 years of his life. This wasn't just a random decision. Diddy personally requested Fort Dix, and surprisingly, the Bureau of Prisons granted his wish. They said this would be the best place for him to focus on rehabilitation, drug recovery programs, and family visits. But we all know, nothing about Diddy's life ever comes easy or quiet. Let's take a second and picture this. The same man who once threw million-dollar parties, rocked the Met Gala red carpet, and ruled the music industry, is now checking into a low-security federal prison. No private jets, no VIP rooms, just plain walls, strict rules, and a bed that doesn't belong to him. Since September 2024, Diddy had been locked up at the infamous Brooklyn MDC, a place other inmates have called hell on earth. He spent over a year there, waiting, fighting, and surviving without bail. And now moving to Fort Dix almost feels like a small mercy. But let's be honest, it's still prison. See, here's where things get dark. Even though Fort Dix is considered low security, Diddy's lawyer made one thing clear. He will have a target on his back wherever he goes. And y'all, that's not just a figure of speech. During his sentencing, word got out that someone had already tried to shank him while he was at MDC. Yes, Diddy woke up to a knife pressed against his neck. Imagine that. One of the most powerful men in entertainment, facing death in a cold prison cell. His legal team says the threats are real. From jealous inmates to people who simply want to make a name off his downfall, Diddy can't afford to let his guard down for a second. Even at Fort Dix, he's got to watch his back. Every minute of every day. Now, Fort Dix isn't your average lockup. It's a low-security facility, meaning Diddy won't be surrounded by violent offenders like at MDC. There are rehabilitation programs, education opportunities, and even sentence reduction options if he stays clean and participates. If he does well, his release date could come sooner than 2028. But still, Prison is prison. As one lawyer said, anywhere you go is a prison. You always have to watch your back, literally. So while Diddy may have traded concrete walls for open yards, he's still trapped in a world where trust doesn't exist. You know what's crazy? People forget that behind all the headlines, the lawsuits, and the scandals, there's still a man trying to survive. Diddy's downfall has been loud, messy, and public. And now, this chapter forces him into silence, into reflection. The same world that once praised him now watches him fall. And maybe that's what hurts the most, to go from being king of New York to inmate number ... in a place like Fort Dix. The reports say Diddy's hoping to use this time to heal, rehabilitate, and rebuild. But let's be real. That kind of transformation doesn't come easy. He's facing his demons in a place that doesn't care who he is. Still, some people are praying for him, that maybe, just maybe, this fall will lead to a real awakening. Because if he takes those programs seriously, if he finds peace in the chaos, Diddy could walk out of Fort Dix not just a free man, but a changed one. And that's where we are. The man who once ran Bad Boy Entertainment is now living in a federal facility, surrounded by strangers and shadows of his past. The Bureau says his projected release is May 8th, 2028. But as we've learned in Diddy's world, nothing is set in stone. So, what's next for him? Will he come out stronger? Or will prison silence the bad boy forever? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the world will be watching. What do y'all think? Can Diddy turn his life around after this? Or has the empire finally fallen for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're following this saga, hit that subscribe button because the story is far from over.